Hey my friends. New video today, and I'm actually changing my mind. I know that I released a video yesterday with my weekly token staking update and everything, and as always, I pretty much told you what my current plan with the token and everything is. However, um, I kind of changed my mind overnight. But of course, I'm keeping you updated yet again, since I'm always trying to be fully transparent. So even though yesterday I said something else, I did actually have a change of mind, and I'm going to show you in a minute what's it all about. So let me just quickly um, claim my HE, and of course same for this. So, as you guys know, I got like 47,000 HE tokens staked right now, and I'm pretty much happy with what I got inside right now. Um, some of this was bought, or at least I mean, it's just some of it was bought at a higher price, but if I were to like actually name it in terms of quantity, it wouldn't be as much. But as you can see, I bought at much higher prices. I bought at like 10 cents, I bought at 50 cents, I bought at 70 cents, and even like 93 cents. So as you can see, uh, the value of like $260 basically went to like $10, and the current value. So as you can see, I bought a lot more than just the $1,400 that you can see here. Of course, I used the majority of it in the game as well. Back when you could still buy heroes with HE token. So that's definitely part of what happened to the whole situation basically, and to the whole thing. It would be taking too long to explain everything that has happened in like the past, let's say, 5 months. So I'm trying to keep it short. Basically, yesterday I said that I may buy some more token at the end of the month, but I wasn't quite sure yet. However, today I changed my mind, and I'm deciding to buy some more token right now. And that's because I myself, I did invest quite frequently. As you can see, there's always pretty much the same time interval. So there's always like 4 weeks in between, 4 weeks in between. Sometimes there were like smaller purchases coming more often, but then there was a longer break as well. Same from here to here, here to here, here to here to here. But as you can see, I didn't really invest as much recently. I did buy $800 worth here, just 50 here, and just like 100 here maybe. Yeah, 100 here. So those were like purchases that I made from my earnings in game, from my NFT earnings, and that was my last real purchase from like real money, if you so want, which is basically what was 1.5 months ago. So it's been quite a while. I used to like put money in here every 4 weeks, pretty much, not always, but like roundabout every 4 weeks, sometimes more frequently. But then the transactions were smaller overall. However, I personally think that the current token price and the current token situation is pretty well. Like, you can pretty much see whenever there was like token distribution throughout the arena system. So here on the 10th of March, around that time, was a token distribution where we could pretty much see a decline in price because, of course, I think it's like 28 days. Or how long is it per season? Maybe? Not sure actually. So you can pretty much see whenever it dumped a bit. So that definitely affects the price, of course, when there's a lot of token distributed through, let's say, the arena seasonal rewards. However, as you can see, ever since like, let's say, end of January, the price has been remaining pretty stable. So like in here, you can see how the token price crashed from 10 cents to just 3 cents in the matter of days. So like from the 14th of January to the 22nd, 24th, around that time, it went down 70% roundabout. Went down from 10.5 cents to like 3 cents, all in the matter of days. And then for the next 1.5 months, as you can see, we had our ups and we had our downs. We had another up and another down. However, despite having longer downs and frequent downs, we pretty much always bounced on this 3 cents mark, and it pretty much happened yet again. Sometimes we are lower, right? That happens. It happened here as well. On this day, can't really see it easily right now, but it happens, and it happens frequently. But it pretty much always bounce back at that 3 cents mark. So it's possible that we crash much further, but I think right now the game cleansed of most of the people that really don't want to stay in this in the long run. I think the majority of people who are in this right now decided to stay in this, or at least keep their token until it's on a high price again. So I think at this point, those who wanted to sell sold, at least those who had like huge amounts of token stocked up. Of course, it's different for those who get like huge arena rewards. They may dump it whenever they get it. I don't know. Maybe they invested in the daily shop, but that's about it. Of course, yes, you can see here, like there's like sometimes 5,000 token, sometimes a couple of hundred, right? So there's always a little bit of something being sold in here, which is mainly the weekly accumulated rewards. Sometimes, rarely, you can see higher sellings. So in here, there's like $500 worth of token, but those transactions are like rather rare. It's usually lots of small sellers, and then every now and then there's like a higher amount of buyers. So and that's, to me personally, that's a pretty good situation, as I mean, of course, there are going to be frequent sellers, so what you earn from the game, it may be sold, as you can see in here. I myself, I have like a couple hundred as well. That's just from the ones that I earned in the game recently in the past couple days. So I could sell these, right? I could just withdraw it and sell it, no problem. But then I would have another small transaction. I mean, what's this even? Like 600 times 3 cents. It's not that much. $15 maybe? No idea. Let me see before I, like maybe 18 if it's 3 cents. Yeah, $18. Okay, just checking if I'm not completely making a fool out of myself. So yeah, movement of the token, pretty stable. Of course, we had our ups and downs, but we pretty much never really broke through that 3 cents mark. Whenever we went below, we went up quite a bit right after. So I think those people who are currently holding onto the token, or those who hold a high amount, they are not planning to sell right now, or not at these low prices, and that's definitely a good sign. So personally, I have a bit of BNB left on this account, and I think I'm going to buy a bit of HE right now. Why do I do this? Because I believe in the project. I think it's good. I think it's having the correct foundation on growing into something great. However, that doesn't mean that this has to be turning into something great. Like, don't get me wrong, I could buy thousands worth of euros, thousands worth of dollars, whatever, and there could be a chance of this succeeding, which is like let's just say 60%, random number, not based on anything. Let's just say 60% and it goes well. That at the same time, that means that there's a 40% chance of this failing completely, right? So, of you losing everything if you so want. So, don't get the wrong idea. There's a huge risk involved in this game and the project itself. There are many things to name. I mean, there's a huge token allocation on a few wallets, which are team wallets, advertising wallets, etc., etc. So, next risk would be the distribution of coins, of tokens. The team could decide to distribute 10 times the amount of token right now, and they could at the same time say, we are not going to distribute any more throughout the game. Both is entirely possible. Right now, there's no system which would like allow the players to decide. I mean, right now they allow the players to decide, but that's up to them, right? So always keep these things in mind. Always only ever invest what you can afford to lose. And of course, Riot suing I Am Hero, which is basically the non-crypto version of this game, developed by the same game studio called Imber Games. They're suing them, and that could also mean a hefty fee if things go wrong, which is probably going to happen, and we don't know what that means for the HE token project, right? So it doesn't really have to affect it, but it could. And those are all things that I personally would keep in mind if I were to decide if I wanted to invest into this project. I personally did this, and I'm saying, okay, it's fine to me. I have the money right now on me. If I were to invest like another $600, I would have like a total amount of like $2,000 inside the staking program, at least at the current worth of the token. I'm fine with that. If I lose it all, that's not great, but I could live with that, right? So, you should always be careful when you make such decisions. I think it's a great time to invest if you want to invest, but always do your own research. I just can't keep saying this enough, because usually I'm thinking, okay, everyone knows this already. Everyone knows it's a risky project. Everyone knows you have to be careful. It's crypto. You can lose everything. You can do it times 100. You can lose it all. It's all possible. However, when I read some Discord messages in the HE token discussion, for example, then I'm not so sure anymore. Especially with how some people think tokenomics and stuff are going to work. So that's why I can't just keep saying it enough. Do your own research and only invest what you can lose. I'm going to invest right now, as you can see. But let me just refresh this page. Great that I talked a bit. Now you can see it went a bit lower, so I can actually get them for less right now. Going to keep a bit on my account for some transactions that I'm going to do in the future. And I'm going to buy them now, as you can see. Let me just accept this. So don't just blindly do what I do. Would be sad for you to see if you lose your money. But of course, if you invest what you can afford to lose, and if it turns out well, that's even better for you, right? So make sure to take credit for yourself, for your own research. So when it turns out worse, then you're responsible. But if it turns out well, then you're responsible as well. So always keep that in mind. Let's just refresh this page and add to my staking pool, so that we can get it all staked. And then it should be done pretty quickly. So our new balance should be around the 67 to 68,000 mark, and that's exactly what happened. If I were to include these tokens, we barely hit the 68,000 mark, so that's pretty cool. If I had like 100,000 tokens at some point, that would be pretty cool, just for that psychological effect that it has. I mean, just being able to say that you got like 100,000 token, that's pretty cool. So personally, I don't really have any attachments to these numbers, but I do think it's cool to say, to have this kind of number staked. So right now we own a pretty fair share of the amounts that is staked in total. Definitely not too bad. There was a lot more staked at some point, or like 20% more than it there is right now. But the token price itself pretty stable despite some players leaving the market and thus selling all the tokens. But right now, I do think we're currently in a situation where we are having a pretty stable foundation in terms of token price. The distribution of token is a bit more linear. There are less and less options on botting these, basically, since in the past there used to be problems where players just created accounts over accounts, and I'm not talking about having a second or third or even a fifth account. I'm talking about players that had whole bot farms of like hundreds of accounts, basically, and those pretty much completely drained the HE pool, sold all the HE right away, and that's pretty much what led to the decrease, to the weekly decrease that we saw over the weeks and months, basically. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. Right now, that's not really the case anymore. Token can only be earned from dungeon and the arena. You can earn a pretty high amount in the dungeon, no matter your current strength or situation. If you have a pretty decent rare team, for example the elf, or even better the beast team, then you can easily take down the dungeon. Sometimes it's not bad to have a second team that can like take over your spot in case your main team dies. But overall, I do think you can earn quite a lot of token in comparison to your team when you just have something like a rare team. And if you have like an epic team or even better, then you're going to do super well in the Colosseum, in the arena. You'll probably earn around, let me just check really quick. So like an epic team should at least be able to get into like this 1,000, 500 to 1,000 mark, where you're already getting pretty decent daily rewards, and of course the rewards that you get per fight that you won. Right now I'm pretty low ranked since I'm just doing my daily fights in here, and the season was just has just ended. Therefore, everyone starts at 1,000 elo points or MMR, whatever you would like to call it. And as such, you have to fight your way back first. But as you can see, I have an okayish team with pretty high rarities, so I can just mesh through these teams since they have much lower rarities. If you want to build a decent team, make sure to watch my previous team videos. Don't try to copy this team. This is just an experiment. I just can't keep saying it enough, since this is just an experiment. It's not a really good team, so really just build whatever I recommended in those team building videos from earlier. Especially the beast team is pretty strong right now, so keep that in mind for sure, and don't just blindly do something that you think could do well in arena, since of course this is going to be an investment, meaning you shouldn't just do anything and really make up your mind before you do something. Of course, it makes sense to watch the market prices since right now the hero token, the hero NFT prices are fluctuating quite heavily. Let me just check. Markets. Okay, then let's see. So the cheapest ones are like 50 to 60 cents as before, but if you go to the rares, it's like $1 or $1.50, somewhere around that range. But there are like some rares that can be very pricey. For example, I made a video about the Goblin team, which was back then by far the cheapest team. But right now, just one clock rank is $7, which is insane if you compare it to other rare heroes. And the team that I promoted was a budget team, meaning it's going to be a bit weaker than other rare teams. However, it was pretty cheap at the time. So right now, that budget team is pretty much the most pricey team and definitely not the best one. So if you're looking for the new budget team that at the same time is super strong, I would recommend to watch the Beast video, which is very clear on that. Yeah, guys, I don't want to draw this out any longer. You saw my current view on the token price, you just saw my current view on the project itself. I'm bullish on the project. I have a little bit staked, a couple tokens, a couple dollars, whatever you want to call it. I make weekly staking update videos, and of course I'm invested into this, so definitely bullish on this, obviously. But that's why I try to keep saying that you should be careful with your investment, of course. However, I personally, I bought in, as you saw, and the next token update or staking update is going to be next Tuesday. So that's pretty much it for the video. As always, tell me what you thought, tell me your personal thoughts on the HE token right now, or as you currently think the project is progressing. Maybe you think it's currently in a good situation, maybe you think it's in a bad situation. Either way, tell me your thoughts, tell me why you think that way, since it's always nice to have a couple different opinions on the situation of certain projects. So always love to hear from your personal opinions on these. I checked the comments of the newest video. I love the comments, loved your opinions. It's always nice to like have some sort of conversation about how things are going, since everyone has their own perspective, and what things that may look good to me may look bad to you, and the other way around. So it's always nice to be able to discuss things. Anyway, that's it for the video, guys, for real. I'm going to say goodbye or good night, since it's going to be pretty late by now, for me at least. I have to get up in just a few hours and do my main insurance job, so that's really going to be it for today. Goodbye. See ya.